What's up, YouTube? CHF here, bringing you another episode of Coaching Handheld Football, and very shocked to find out today I actually made the news, which is like super cool, as the first time ever showing up there as a game changer, so thanks to EA for that. But we are going to pick up where we left off yesterday. Yesterday we were going through all of the coach tactics and pressures, starting with the West Coast scheme. Today we are going to move on to the Smash Mouth scheme, so without further ado, let's hop into it. All right, guys, so the first coach we're going to talk about here is Matt Nagy, and he has a total of 6 defensive tactics. He has 3 anti-West Coast and 3 anti-vertical, and let's talk about what exactly they are going to use. So for the anti-West Coast, you've got minor blanket coverage, which is going to require them to complete a run challenge. Increase underneath also will complete a run challenge, and major blanket coverage will require them to complete yet another run challenge. And with all of the tactics like I talked about yesterday, when you pressure them as you level up the coaches, the tactics become not only more valuable, which you can see on this screen, but the pressures become harder, requiring them to get more yards. Matt Nagy is actually a really interesting coach, and as I've been going through making this video series, I like him a lot more, and let me tell you why. So when we get into the anti-vertical ones, you've got minor Fail Mary, and major Fail Mary, and in addition to all of the stat boosts, these are also going to fire off 3 more run pressures. So all 6 of Matt Nagy's pressures will require your opponent to run. So if you're going up against someone who's super pass heavy like the vertical scheme, or someone who just doesn't like to run, and also if you tried running the more you run seems to get a little bit harder. So having 6 of these, I think a good strategy if you use Nagy is to kind of build up that meter, and right when you're about to hit 5, start rapid firing those pressures to throw them off their game and force them to run the ball a lot in a row. So anyways, guys, let's hop on to the next coach. Alrighty, guys, so next up we have Doug Marrone here, and let's go ahead, hop in and take a look at his tactics. He has anti-vertical tactics and anti-smash mouth tactics. So let's talk about what they do. In an earlier video, I actually talked about why I like Doug Marrone. Back when Hail Mary spamming was a problem, his very first tactic, that increase blitz, was really effective to help slow that down. But with his 3 anti-vertical tactics, increase blitz, Fail Mary, and pass for 10+ yards penalty, the pressure that it is going to throw at your opponent is it's going to make them run the ball. So if they're, used to throwing deep passes, kind of the last thing they would want to do is run the ball. So again, I like to use those kind of late in the game. I like to do kind of pass ones early, run ones late in the game, because at the end of the game is when people are trying to throw, a bunch of long, deep passes, trying to rack up as many touchdowns as possible. So that's kind of a good time to slow them down by running. Now, he also has 3 anti-smash mouth tactics. You've got minor shoot the gap, which is going to require them to do a short pass, rushing first downs tax, which is going to require them to do a long pass, and increase pinch, which is going to require them to do any pass. Now, the way those work, just like other captains or coaches, as you level up the coach, you not only get more points, but it's going to require more yards of them. So anyways, guys, let's hop on to the third Smash Mouth captain, coach. All right, guys, our third coach is Jason Garrett. I have not yet unlocked him, but I was able to kind of figure out what his tactics pressures actually do. So we'll go ahead and hop into it. So he has 3 anti-vertical tactics. He has minor bull rush, passing first downs tax, and major bull rush. All 3 of these tactics are going to make your opponent run the ball. So that's what the pressure will be. You fire those off, they're going to get a challenge where they have to run the ball, and they're either going to run the ball and pass it, and therefore nobody gets any points for that. They'll run it, they'll fail it, you get points for it, and you threw them off tempo, or they'll ignore it, maybe get some points just doing what they want, and you're going to be rewarded with points. Now, I've said this yesterday, but I'm not a fan of the coaches that only have one defensive tree. At least at this point in the game, I personally enjoy using defensive tactics more than offensive tactics. That may change, but from a standpoint of pressures, I like to have more opportunities to throw them off their game and get them doing things that they don't want. So even though I don't yet have Jason Garrett, I'm probably not going to put too much training into him early on. So anyways, guys, that's the third one. Nice, quick, easy because he only had one defensive tree. Let's go ahead and hop into our final coach. All right, guys, so the final Smash Mouth coach is Vance Joseph. And once again, I do not have him unlocked, but was able to find out what his pressures were. So let's go ahead and hop into them. He has 3 anti-West Coast and 3 anti-spread. And his 3 anti-West Coast are minor blanket coverage, and increase protect the sticks. Now with those, these are going to be run pressures. So when you fire off one of those top 3, it is going to force your opponent to either give you points or complete a running based challenge. Now with those, as always, as you level up the coach, not only do you get more points, but the pressures become more difficult, requiring more yards. He then in the spread section has a rushing yard tax, minimal gains, and major minimal gains. Now, the way these are going to work is they are going to require a pass of some sort. They kind of vary from what I've heard. Some of them are any, and it's not always the same. So it looks like it's just going to require them to do some sort of pass. And once again, with increasing difficulty. Now, with these, the way I like to think of it, I would probably take the approach when I get this coach of doing the rushing yards tax as the first one, which is that first anti-spread, and then I would go through the entire West Coast to make them run. That way, if they do pick up the first down, you're going to get a bonus for it anyway, just by forcing them to run, because if they grab that first down, you're going to get the bonus. But anyways, guys, that is all of the Smash Mouth coaches. Let me know if you have questions in the comments down below. Tomorrow, we will be going over and talking about the spread coaches, and then finally the vertical coaches on Friday. But if you like this video or what I'm trying to do here on the channel, go ahead and hit that like button. If you are new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. What you can count on is strategy content designed to help you play this game better in all game modes. And if you want to see what I drop, when I drop it, go ahead and hit that bell icon to join the notification squad. I love you guys. You are the best ever. I will see you tomorrow. CHF out.